Greetings, my fellow freedom loving sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy Mangrove, South Florida. And today's date is Saturday, February 13th, 2021. Yeah, so just got up, checking my phone, see what information I got, and have a colleague, pen pal on Florida Carry, posted something very intriguing in reference to the horrific event that happened almost 3 years ago in Parkland, Florida. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Massacre. I could say that. And during that time, there was a lot of controversy and witch hunting. One of them, National Rifle Association and President Trump, protect us. And I recall, too, March for Our Lives was started by CA Corporation. That's the name of the group, CA Corporation. They were based out of Plantation, Florida. I think it was on Pine Island Road. I've got the address number and all that. I read that one in the New American during that time in 2018. That was about like April, I believe. And, of course, I would never say March for Our Lives is a revised version of the Children of Khmer Rouge. And I'm not here to go after the children themselves. It's just there's things I see right through. And see right through using them as pawns of the game. It has been done for millenniums, using children on tyrannical practices. We could use the 20th century for an example. Hitler, Stalin, they all used children. Of course, Pol Pot, Khmer Rouge, the killing fields, they used children as well. And snitches, with the Jews on the German Jews, or occupied Europe. George Soros submitted that on 60 Minutes, and people say, "Oh, that's false information." Hey, I've seen the damn video and read his lips very thoroughly, make sure it's not superimposed by any means. And those are the facts. That's why I'm always stick to my principles, regardless. I'm not gonna change my ways to benefit the tyrants by any means. You do it to enhance humanity, not deprive it. And based on what happened with this tragedy, it gets very it's disturbing to the core, one way or the other. And a lot of folks probably see my memes in the past calling out Scott Israel, say he's not my sheriff. I have no shame for that, nor any animosity towards him. But his actions were unacceptable. So during that time they had, when they had the investigation and all that, which is very, I'm going to have to read it one more time. I read a lot of it. I'm going to have to finish it up. But I can tell you one thing, there's so many discrepancies. And all the red flag law, so forth, that needs to be abolished just on that alone, which is still illegal under our state constitution. And then say numbnuts like Flip Flop Rick Scott, which I never voted for him as governor or senator. Okay, just to make that clear, didn't vote for him because he has some bad habits. Trying to push that with frat boy Marco Rubio. See, it doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican, my friends. When it comes to government, you watch them all. And Latin means control of the mind. You never trust them. That is our obligation as citizens on state and federal, local, don't matter, We have duties. And never trusting them. And this is why I get a little bit annoyed. I'll say annoyed with especially the presidential election. They're all looking for an elected king. Give me a break. That's a total distraction. So I said always focus on your state and local levels. Plant a seed, not no tree. That's the thing. But we've been so conditioned on centralization it's got to be the centralization is the solution. It's not. It becomes a disease. And NA Federalist papers, writers from the NA Federalist papers warned us about that. And even James Madison's Federalist Papers 46 said the same thing. The state and local authorities don't have to cooperate with the federal government. That's essential too. Even Madison sees that as well. So, I know I digress a little bit, but I had to I had to speak my mind on this thing. And interesting article that just came out, which the person from Florida Carry posted, and I thank him for that. That's what I love about social media. You can share information. You don't have to be geniuses, but share it, and we can all make our own judgments. I see some bad posts out there, too, don't get me wrong. But this one here came from the American Thinker.com, and it's entitled Remembering the Parkland School Massacre and Trying to Learn from It, by Rich Logus. With another anniversary of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School mass shooting upon us, let us remember the 14 students and 3 staff members who died in Parkland in Broward County on Valentine's Day 2018. That's like in the northwest corner of south of Coral Springs. It's almost time to remember the mass murderer was a Democrat-created and Democrat-inspired killer, and it's time to remember that Democrats continue to hysterically lie, prevaricate, and conspiracy theorize. Democrats have effectively exploited the survivor grief for the nefarious political gain. Especially loathsome and sinister has been thrusting of traumatized children in the roles of activists, having force-led them the usual Democrat and DMIC, Democrat Media Industrial Complex. That's propaganda of the People's Temple, eschew anti-gun code. That was good. I like that. I like that quote. Wow. I like this. I like that angle. We shouldn't be angry at the kids who have been initiated into the anti-gun code via Clockwork Orange type Ludovico technique that have been duped into believing that their gun policy and Bill of Rights experts who really know what James Madison meant when he penned the Second Amendment. Recall when then 17-year-old Douglas student David Hogg, a real-life Jack Meridew, the Lord of the Flies antagonist, asked on CNN, if you can't get elected without taking money from child murderers, why are you running? Normal question from one barely old enough to legally drive, right? At the CNN town hall a week after the shooting, Douglas student Cameron Kasky said to Republican U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, Florida, it's hard to look at you and not look down down the barrel of an AR-15. We all know that Kasky didn't come up with that on his own. The loved ones on the deceased and injured will always mourn. Their ire and anger, though, are ignorantly directed at the wrong organizations and individuals. Malignant Democratic majorities. Show me who's in charge, and I'll show you the likely outcomes. In 2018 and presently, who lives in Broward County? Majority Democrats by registration. That's a fact. Who lives in Parkland? Majority Democrats. Who's on the Broward School Board? Majority Democrats. Who works in the district? Majority Democrats. You can look out in the city and county level, so I could tell you that. I live in Broward County, folks, so I could attest to what this gentleman is saying. What was the background of Robert Runcie, superintendent of the Broward County Public Schools? Chicago Democrat, plus Barack Obama's buddy. Broward promised policy of lack of disciplinary standards for troubled students, which where the murderer was 4 years, was from Barack Obama, a Democrat. Who runs the Broward County Sheriff's Office? Democrats. You had Scott Israel, who was a member of Homeland Security. Now you got Gregory Tony. I may call him the pumpernickel version of Scott Israel at certain times, but I know I can't. I could base on some of his actions, but I am digressing, so I'll continue. Who's a Parkland State Senator? A Democrat. Yep, Gary Farmer Jr. And if I'm correct, I call this guy down south, in the south area of Pembroke Park, Senator, I call him Jim Crow Jones. Okay? Who's Parkland's U.S. representative? A Democrat. Allah. Not my congressman, Ted Deutsch. Who received the majority vote, Trump or Clinton, in Parkland in 2016? The Democrat. Who received a majority of the vote for the U.S. Senate in Parkland in 2018? The Democrat. Who received a majority vote for the governor in Parkland in 2018? The Democrat. Ugh, man. That person's a vote. They voted for Andrew Gillum. Ugh. Yeah, communist sympathizer. Who received a majority of the vote? Oh, sorry about that. All Democrat majorities are malignant, no exceptions, and produce kids who kill other kids. Starting in middle school, the murderer was suspended at least 67 days and 18 months. He was sent then to another district school, and then to Stoneman Douglas. In 2015, while at Douglas, a direct assessment claimed that the murderer could be a future model student. In January 2016, the Broward Sheriff's Office got a tip that the killer, that in 10th grade, had posted on Instagram that he planned to shoot up a school. By the end of the next month, the murderer was suspended after he carved swastikas into a lunch table and scrawled "I hate N" on his backpack. Interesting about the swastika, folks, it's a sun symbol. It came out originally from the around Egypt, ancient Egypt, or somewhere in Samaria. There's a lot of claims on that. Of course, there's even strong meritable accusations that the Masons started to create the swastika. And of course, if you look at that on a 45-degree angle, how the Third Reich used it, the Nazis, Hitler, it was the Molendafi, okay, which is a God aspect, merciless force. So that's what it represents. That's according to the book, The Rights of Odin, by Fitch. That is Ed Fitch. It was very interesting. So you get to study these symbols, and that's why you always gotta look at these things. But a lot of folks, that's one way anyway. Oh yeah, it's a Nazi symbol. Nope, Nazis never created it. But I know don't want to go too crazy on this, but I'm just giving you facts here. In 2017, about a year before the mass murders, the district was again made aware of the murderer's desire to commit a school mass shooting. There are many, many more published reports about his obsessive, violent mental state and academic struggles. And everything here, a lot of stuff here there's links to this article as well. And I recommend you check it out. And I'll keep on going. Parkland was a perfect storm of collective failure. The FBI admitted it failed to investigate the murderer. Obama's educational standards, entitled "Promise," preventing recidivism through opportunities, mentoring, intervention, support, and education, enacted without Congress's approval and designed to reduce minorities' encounter with law enforcement, peddled lax disciplinary standards for troubled students. The killer at one time had been in the Promise program. So what they're saying here is unconstitutional, period. Okay? So that thing should have never been enacted in Broward County. Period. Or Florida. Period. Okay? I'm just letting you folks know about Runcie, Obama's buddy, thought it was okay. He's part of the problem. Alright? I'm sorry. I just get so insulted at times. They think the American people and all people in South Florida are completely dumb. So, I had to let that out, so I'll continue. And not only did the Broward Sheriff's deputies fail to act on several tips about the killer's violent tendencies, but they also failed on the act on the day of the massacre. That's what I'm saying, folks. Definitely look at that Stoneman Douglas Committee report. You'll be disturbed. I know a lot of you have. If you haven't, check it out. Just type that in, you'll find it. Terrorism of It Takes a Village. The Parkland school shooting was many years in the making, a horrific example of the myth of equal outcomes. The Promise program, in which the killer was enrolled, was designed to achieve equal outcomes between whites and minorities and was clearly adopted by the Obama sycophant Runcie. The killer was frisked daily in school and was always accompanied by security. Democrats go to extraordinarily great lengths to protect each other. Vote blue no matter who, no matter what. What does any of the above have to do with the type of firearm the murderer used, or how many rounds of ammunition fit into the magazine? Spoiler alert, nothing and nothing. A gun has never killed anyone, ever, intentionally or accidentally. Whatever the voters of Biden and Harris are majority of the populace, however, the highest rates of gun-related violence and murder almost always follow. What should keep every adult-minded American up at night? This. How many more Democratic-created and Democrat-inspired mass murderers are there among us? Frighteningly, I believe there are many more than we realize. And for those in red-purple states such as Florida and Texas, and blue-purple states such as Arizona and Georgia, you better stop living in denial about the migration of Democrats to your states. The more Democrats there are, the likelier a killer kid will be born. Yes, I do support, I'll stop right there. I do support state deportation. You're gonna leave another state and bring your garbage down here? I'm gonna call you out, and I don't really give a damn what you think. Leave your infections up there, or where you came from. You want to liberate yourself, not contaminate others. Okay? And I'll continue on here. I recommend the book authored by Andrew Pollock, whose daughter Meadow died in the Parkland shooting. Why Meadow died. The people and policies that created the Parkland shooter and endangered America's students. I'll have to look at that book. Post Parkland, perhaps more frisky, farcical of all is this: all those who spectacularly failed now except you and me to live under their so-called red flag laws, which potentially infringe and abridge on our First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, and 14th Amendment rights, one half of our Bill of Rights, and 1/4 of our entire Constitution. I will stop right there too, just to let you folks know. Actually, the red flag law in Florida violates Article 1, Sections 9 and 10 of our Florida Constitution, and deprives your basic right to own certain property under the same article, Section 2. Prove me wrong if you dare, folks. And this is why both sides, Democrats and Republicans, voted the language in there, and Governor Rick Scott at the time signed it into law. Yeah, so you gotta get them all. That's why I don't completely agree on this stuff, on this gentleman's work, but it's still good. But I'll do this out of fairness. So I'll continue on. Red flag legislation is fancied after Minority Report type guilty before proven innocent laws, which have been bipartisan and enacted in dozens of states to allow for law enforcement and the state to confiscate the firearms of allegedly dangerous individuals. These laws are a quintessential example of why bipartisanship is oftentimes the gateway drug to tyranny. When an unconstitutional bipartisan law is passed, it just means that both parties were wrong. Earlier this week, the Broward judge ruled that a school district was not liable for failing to warn parents of the killer before he went onto his cold-blooded rampage, because he was no longer a student in Broward at the time of the shooting. And I'll let you folks know that is under the Sovereign Immunity Tort Liability Act, and I will read that. I'll read that to you later after this article. Probably unwittingly, the judge showed why red flag laws, at worst unconstitutional, at best futile, said the judge. The district did not have pre-knowledge of a definite threat by the killer. The Parkland murderer was singularly perhaps the most obvious red flag type case in American history. Democrats still didn't get it right. Rest in peace to 17 deceased. You should be alive. He wrote a book, too, about 10 warning signs of your child is becoming a Democrat. How to make America grown up again. He can be reached at opinionsareworthless.com and Twitter at RichLogis. It's a good article. Overall, I like it. So I have to correct myself. He did use both sides. So I can correct that. But yeah, it's very good. It's disturbing. He laid on a lot of facts, too. A lot of links to back it up. And people don't realize that he was, according to the courts, he was considered mentally defected. Okay? Mentally defected means he's not competent. And it's interesting because there's some there's a good amount of laws that he, that disregarded him. Mr. Cruz himself. On the federal gun laws, says here, Title 18, U.S. Code Section 992.12 D4, prohibits anyone with a firearm and or ammunition has been adjudicated as mentally defected or has been committed to any mental institution. We can look at the NICS Improvement Act of 2007. Stronger background checks was enacted because of the shootings in Virginia Tech. Why did Florida officials didn't comply with this law for shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz? And we look at the Florida statutes. 790.065. The law was signed around June 28, 2013 by Governor Rick Scott, in which it prohibits anyone owning a firearm who declares mentally defected. Okay, so how come? I'll continue on here. And of course, 790.06, subsection 12A, declares certain facilities to be a firearm-free zone, schools and administration buildings. Examine verse 10 of the statute. And we can look at another one here. Broward County Ordinance 18-96 declares a 5-day working period on all purchases of firearms. So, he was declared mentally defected, passed the background check, went in, waited 5 days to get the rifle, the AR-15, on Broward County Ordinance, which I voted against that constitutional amendment anyway. Okay, I voted against that local options. All right, and went in to a firearm-free zone. What do all these laws have in common? They failed pertaining to the Parkland tragedy. Of course, police protection and all that. Florida Statute 768.28 entitled Sovereign Immunity and Tort Liability, and look up the case of Wong versus City of Miami. So, I'm just giving you those facts, my friends. And there's a letter I wrote to the city of Fort Lauderdale pertaining to future gun shows at the War Moratorium in Holiday Park. Before they close it down, they just want to get rid of them first. So the whole fear and anxiety. But I was very critical on what they've done. Okay, it's called witch hunting. And I let them folks know, too, about the collective witch hunt towards the National Rifle Association and fellow gun owners. And it's synonymous to Adolf Hitler and his Third Reich accusing the Jews for their nation's collapsed economy, right-wing fanatics blaming the Muslims for the 9/11 attacks, and FDR signing Executive Order 9066, which made American civilians enemy combatants who are mainly Japanese, American, and Italian descent by conscripting them to internment camps without due process. Sounds familiar? I like to always pay my respects to the victims and their heirs. And I know there was even claims they were saying that it was a possible false flag attack. But like I said before, false flag attacks doesn't mean no one died. Okay? So I'll just let you know on my stance. I do remember what Stacey LaPelle had to say, too, about a person wearing full body armor on the third floor. She opened up the door. One of her colleagues next door, the room got shot. Guys wearing full body armor, and Nicholas Cruz. This one, Good Morning America, by the way. Okay, mainstream news. And when Nicholas Cruz got arrested, he was wearing street clothes. So there's a lot of discrepancies in that. But the fact is this. When you believe government knows best, it turns to crap. These laws, these practices, these individual mindsets they have is a burden on everybody. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. And I had a union brother of mine, and another coworker, that the one teacher, there's a phys ed teacher. He actually went to his funeral. And my union brother's daughter was in the other side, was in another building when all this happened. Even though we have different views, but we're very infuriated. And I warned about this for a long time. Police protection myth, firearm-free zones. And this is why I'm always a real vigilant man when it comes to protecting yourselves and others. I know a train's coming by, but that's okay. This is why we have to learn from these and better ourselves. Some people are wigged out over the Guardian program. Not just hand a teacher a firearm. Make sure they go through the right qualifications. Learn, train, and discipline themselves. And use it when it's necessary. I know, if I'm correct, Powell believes in that, and I agree with him on it 100%. When we're going to stop learning, when we're going to learn that firearm-free zones don't work, and have government take care of our kids, whether they're natural parents or guardians. That's their job. And learn to be neighborly. All right? Love your neighbors, love yourself. That's vital. Talk to your kids. Don't have them sit there and watch damn tube or on their computer all the time. I like the internet too. Don't get me wrong. Utilize it. I don't even have a TV in my place. Hey, I feel very good about it. Not to rub it in, but so the way to do it, go by our natural laws, natural rights, folks. Inherited rights. We have it in us. In Florida, it's called basic rights under Article 1, Section 2 of our Florida Constitution. If we don't learn from the past, we'll condemn on repeating it. May the souls be forever free to these beautiful people that passed. And eternal condolences to the victims' heirs. Even the ones I may not agree with. I never wish anyone ill. And that will be it. I want to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something interesting want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence from Decorum. Furthermore, I'll leave the footnote of this article on my speaker page. And if you want to contact me, you can hit me at LokiLuck03@protonmail.com. And if you want to donate, you can hit me at paypal.me or cash.app/LokiLuck3. And if you want to donate to American Thinker or to this author, Rich Logus, that would be great. I encourage you to do that. The whole thing is, when I let you folks know, when I narrate, I always make sure I credit it. I know I made some errors in the past, and I put the author's name, but I always credit the site that released it, because I always believe in fair use, and I always give you my intake. So if you could send that contribution to him, or American Thinker, or that'd be awesome. All right. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.